Oh my goodness. Okay, here we are. I'm excited about this one. Today is our bylaws for the foundation side of things say that we have an annual meeting in September. And I asked the board, why is the annual meeting for the foundation side different than the annual meeting for the club side? And I guess it's just that way, but but we're supposed to report back to you a little bit on what's going on the foundation side. So I thought this would be a good opportunity and good timing to share where we are with our fundraising efforts to date, and to talk a little bit about what we need to do moving forward. So, and my slides keep changing on me, but anyway, this used to have, you can see that. So the foundation budget last year, pre-COVID, was $70,700. This year we set it at $33,300. And as of now, we are just $6,000 away from meeting that goal of $33,300. Which, given that well, it's basically 2 months into the year, 2.5, that's really great. But I know committees are really eager to start spending money. And so the question is, what do we do now to get there? And then the other question is, can we commit to going further than that? Because I know all the committees had their budgets really, knocked in half, if not less. So I know everybody would be eager to get things back up. But I also want to be cognizant of all of our time and our energy and our financial situation. So so I thought I would just share some potential, some ideas, and have you folks think about them and talk about them, and see what we want to do. And we don't at this time have another fundraiser officially scheduled. We are going to have a meeting to talk about whether we want to do an Oktoberfest meal. And we've got a small group of people who are together going to be talking about that. But if anybody is interested in helping with that, put your name in the chat so that we can get you to that meeting and see if that's something we want to do. We haven't committed to it. We're going to talk about it, see if we can feel like we can make it happen. Somebody just texted me, and I know has to do with the meeting. Oh, yes, I know. Yay. All right. I'm slow at picking up my text. Hi, Terry. Yay. So so I wanted to show you, this is called the No Breakfast Club option. And this is something to think about in terms of how much we are all saving each week on breakfast, what we would have paid going for breakfast each week, which is $13. And then I thought, well, what if you came to roughly half the meetings? I know all of us are coming to more meetings, but what if you only came to half the meetings? Normally, that means you'd save about $325. And then there might be some savings in gas and travel time. And so the thought would be that if everyone donated this is just to give you ideas of how we could get there, but if everyone donated just this amount, we would bring in $22,000, almost $23,000 more dollars. So that's something, a way to think about how we might fill the gap, and obviously could go beyond that. The other option might be to just go your own way. Just, some of us can't give money we don't have right now. And so $325 isn't really sitting around it's not like it's sitting there because you saved it. It's just not having to spend it. So the other idea would be that just people look into their own lives and figure out what they could donate and do that. And here's just, again, I didn't do the complex math of saying, well, 27 people did $50 and 42 did, but just as to give you an idea of how these numbers add up. And, you know, what we need is somewhere between these two, well, closer to this one. So, which is pretty the low end minimum. And then another idea would be to just what I call put the funds back into fun and figure out a way that you can raise anywhere from $250 even to $1,000 from your friends and your relatives. And I have a list of 20 different things to do, but here's some examples. You know, you could sell something, you could make something, you can lead an outdoor activity and charge a fee, like a hike, a nature hike or something like that. You can make and deliver a meal or desserts. You could even offer to do a yucky chore for somebody that they don't want to do. And we all have our list of things that we don't want to do. We might be willing to pay somebody in Rotary to do those for us. You could teach a lot of you got game and know a lot of things, and you could teach a Zoominar, webinar, and charge a fee for that, and invite friends, relatives, you know, to that. Sell something that you make. We have some great artists in our club. You could host a virtual poker party, and this is something I'm intrigued to see if I could make it work, but I think there's ways to do that. And you know, people love their pets. You could host a pet costume contest or something. You could, I mean, there's others. You could host it. We could put up our baby pictures and play guessing games as to who is who and see who wins what. There's lots of different things you could do. So I think it's just about being creative. And, you know, my thought being that if we all do something like this, then we can continue. We wouldn't necessarily have to do another big fundraiser, which takes a lot of time and energy. And you know, then it's just an idea that we could look at it this way. So that's some background, and I just wanted to report to you where we are with the foundation side of things. That slide turned out really weird. That's Scott's lit up thing all dulled down. I don't know. But I guess the question is, are you ready to make any kind of commitment to do this? And I want you to think about it. I'm not going to do a paddle raise this morning and, you know, and say, okay, who wants to give $50? And, you know, although those paddle raises are fun, but none of you have paddles this morning, so it'd be kind of hard. But I'm committing at this point to donate $500 toward this. And so if any of you are willing to do that, any sum donate, or if you can think of a fundraising idea, let's spend the next, we really need to spend the next couple of weeks thinking about this and figuring out how close we get, because then that helps our committees. And I'd love to go past the $6,000. I know we have a lot of things we want to do out there, and I'd love to get past it. And I think in our club we could. So are there any comments or questions about any of that information that I shared with you? Karen asked a good question. If folks decided to fundraise on their own, can we get an idea of the projects that our club is sponsoring? Is that, you mean the different committees? Yes, definitely. And, you know, one of, you know, the two big ones are packs for kids and scholarships. The vocational committee is working on, and they're going to report on that project in more detail, but they're working on a project to provide support to youth, transitional age youth, getting job training and getting what they need so they can get a job, and they'll give a more full report. The World Community Services is already allocated most of their funds to projects, one of them is with the Navajo Nation, and we'll be learning about that one. And so, and then youth services, I think we'll be sending out a survey to, well, I'll let them report today because they're going to give us a little bit of a report, but all the committees are kind of working, but they're feeling kind of, you know, they're kind of waiting to see what the money looks like too, to make sure that they can, you know, they can do the things they want to do. So there's a lot of opportunity in community service right now with COVID response. And each committee right now was allocated about $2,500. So that's going to go really quick.
Maggie?
Yes.
I'm going to commit to donating $100 per month, at least for the remainder of this Rotary year. So I encourage anybody to do that. If you can't do it in one lump sum, do it on a monthly basis.
Great idea. That's a good reminder, because that's a way to kind of, I could probably do more if I did it that way. So that's a great reminder. Thank you, Dick. That's awesome. Anybody else have any comments or questions about this idea? I'd love to be able to, well, one, I'd love to be able to say to the Oktoberfest folks, hey, we don't need to do a meal because we've raised the money, or at least had commitments to it. So please think about it and shoot me an email if you'd like to commit and what you'd like to do. Yes, you can Venmo it. You could write, it's just club, you write, if you're Venmoing it, you would write just Club Foundation or RCAS Foundation. The money is, we're trying to discourage you from target specific programs or projects in our club, because all of them are worthwhile, and our budget normally is we set the budget, give the money to the committees. So we don't want any of the committees to feel like they're competing with each other. So you don't need to spend money on any kind of what's it called, political advertising to try to get people to vote for your committee, because we're just going for all of them together. Thank you. Appreciate that, everybody. I was just looking at the comments, so I appreciate that. There's another comment. Let's see.
Jesse, come here. Jesse.
Thank you.
Here.
Thank you, Tammy.
Come here.
One of you is yelling at hopefully your dog, just so you know, we know. Be kind to dogs. Thank you. Thank you, everybody who's posted in there. This is wonderful. Tammy, you're funny. Yeah, no bacon for a while from us. Thank you, everybody. That's all. That's great. We'll see. Sophie will let us know what we've got, and we'll take it from there. Thank you, everybody. And let's not stop at 6,000. Awesome.